CWolf20, he's got 123.31, that's his PB, and Dan's is a 120.15. They're actually seated very close to each other. Oh, are they going?
Here we go. So it looks like CWolf stream was definitely started before Dan's.
Yeah,
there we go.
I'm just syncing them up. Hopefully they started at the same time, but I'm syncing them up there.
Yep.
Both of them entering the cave now.
Pretty good on the
close.
sync up. Yeah, looks good on my side anyway. So, hello and welcome again to another wonderful Zelda 2 100% all keys tournament race. This is more bonus bracket action. This is a 15 versus 16 seed matchup with your 15 seed CWolf 2012 and your 16 seed Dan H. I am the Greenleaf Effect. With me tonight is Feasel.
Hello.
And Mythical.
Hi.
So you see both of them actually starting in the first magic cave. They're in the first magic container. Neither one of them looks like got the 50p bag there. Dan looking like he is heading to, and actually is heading to, early trophy cave to make up some of that experience to increase his percentage of leaving Palace 1 with attack 4. Meanwhile, CWolf is making his way to Shield Town to get the shield spell. We'll see if he makes a pit stop in the forest along the way or just goes for the 25% chance of double 200 bags. So now the other thing, when you leave the early trophy cave, you have the option of heading directly to Palace 1 and picking up shield later, or picking up shield now. Dan choosing to pick up shield at the current moment. So he will have that before going into the Parappa Desert and Palace 1, the appropriately named Desert Palace. So you see CWolf there leaving Shield Town and getting into encounter on the road there, and looks like he is just going to opt to head into Palace 1 with the experience he's got and hope to get the two 200-point P-bag drops.
Right, we've seen a number of players taking this strategy, not even trying to go for backup points someplace else. And for the most part, it can be just as successful as going for the 50 or 40 experience someplace else. We saw a race just the other day where the player who won went for that strategy.
Absolutely. And it's going to look, until they get into the next town after Palace 1, which is Ruto, it's going to look like CWolf is ahead here for a bit. That's because he did not go and get the extra experience, whereas Dan did. But once they leave Palace 1, Dan can go directly to Ruto Town or Jump Town, whereas CWolf will have to stop and pick up the trophy.
As well as the shield spell?
Nope, they both have the shield spell.
They both have the shield spell, I didn't see. And let's see if Dan can get the encounter skip. He does. So Dan gets the bubble skip there. That's going to set him ahead a little bit, maybe about 15 seconds.
Yep. And the encounter skip that Feasel's referring to, it's going to be something you'll see throughout the run. It occurs when you get an overworld enemy encounter on the same tile you would get a fixed encounter on. The way the game's priority works is it gives priority to the overworld enemy as opposed to the fixed tile. So you'll be seeing that a lot throughout the run to skip long, drawn-out encounters, mostly involving bubbles.
Bubbles or glowing rocks.
Yeah, those two.
Well, let's see if Dan can get to the palace without any encounters. That should be all he needs to do is dodge that one encounter there.
Yep.
In the earlier parts of the game, they only give you one encounter at a time instead of two sets of encounters. The whole northern part of this western continent is like that. It's only got one set of encounters. And they do that just to make it a little bit easier early in the game. And it's pretty nice because it makes it much easier to avoid encounters in a speedrun too. You just dodge the first set and you're good to go.
Dan picking up a nice little 50p bag there from one of the bots.
Ah, but he already went and grabbed his extra experience. That would be nice in CWolf's situation because that would change his strategy. He would then only have to go for one 200 bag. But if CWolf's going for the... Let's see if he jumps over this Staphos. He doesn't need to. Yeah, he kills the Staphos here. It's not necessary to just, do the Staphos jumping over here because he's going to be going for two 200 bags anyway, so Normally people would skip those Staphos and kill them the third time through so that they can get an extra 20 experience by moving around where the large 6-drop is. But he doesn't care because he's got to either get 200 bags or he's going to be nowhere near the experience he needs. So an extra 20 doesn't matter to him. Dan, we probably will see skip those. Well, even with the 50 bag, he might still skip them. Yep, jumps right over. Probably doesn't need to if he got that 50 bag, but it's a habit.
Yep. So both of them getting their attack too, and the experience points manipulation is going to be something you're going to see throughout the run, but it's a much bigger experience. Excuse me, a much bigger manipulation. I use the term manipulation loosely throughout the very beginning of this run because the whole goal here is to get to the attack level of 8 as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, what you're going to see both runners do is do their best to manipulate their experience total so that they are at a total where they can get the most amount of experience possible from the End of Palace bonus. That's a bonus that when you put a gem into the shrine at the end of the palace, the game gives you enough experience to reach your next level.
Error pointed out in the chat that CWolf20 actually skipped the Goria, so even if he managed to get a 50-point bag, he would still not be able to go with a single 200-point bag. He'd have to get both of them. But I think there's also the possibility he could kill enough bots to make up some of the difference. I might try killing 5 bots. I guess you'd have to kill 6 because one of them would be a drop.
Opting to take life 2 there on the collapsing bridge.
Well, taking life 2 means he knows he's going for the 200 bags, so at this point...
There's one of them.
There's one of them, he's got one, so now he's just got a 50-50 shot of getting the last P-bag. Let's see. It'll be a while before we know how that turns out.
Yep.
I'm seeing his stream freeze over here.
I just got the same thing happen to me.
Alright, we'll see if it comes back.
Not the first time I've seen this happen in a race, so... Oh, there it goes. We're back. Somewhat. Yep, so the item that you just saw CWolf get and that you see Dan picking up right now, that is the candle. That is the first of the items we'll be picking up here. The candle is going to allow us to see in the caves that we've been in, so it's going to make your viewing job at home much, much easier, so you can actually now see what they're killing.
So I'm going to have to remake this real quick. Here we go.
Yep, so for those who this may be your first time going into one of these, this is a 100% all keys run, and what that means is that every item in the game is required to be picked up, all the dungeon items, every magic spell is required to be picked up, all of the magic jars and all of the heart containers, as well as both of the sword techniques. The all keys portion of it means you need a key for every door that you pass by. You don't necessarily need to use the key on the door because there are a couple places in the game where you can skip through, and wow, CWolf getting both of the 200 bags. But you need a key for the door before you go by it. Meanwhile, CWolf is making his way to the boss of Palace 1 here. This is Horsehead. It's just a walking chess piece with a mace. But because he got the 200-point bags there, he is going to be leaving here with attack 4, exactly like he wants to, because even though he's at 123 right now, Horsehead's going to give him 50 experience, which will push him over the 150 threshold of life 3, and get to the next one, meaning 1,000. So he will be getting the attack bonus here, as well as Dan. You can see he is also where he needs to be, so both runners are going to be leaving here at attack 4.
But the odds of that are pretty slim, especially with the failed manipulations, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think it's the first race that I've been on call for that both of them are leaving with attack 4.
That's right, it's pretty rare to see both players leaving it, and you're right that even more rare given that neither person got it in the first cave, got that 50 bag. So that's good. It's going to be a pretty even race as far as the levels go.
Yep. And again, keep in mind that once we get out of the next town, which is the aptly named Jump Town, because you get the jump spell there, that's when we'll be able to tell who is ahead.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, man, it could go either way. CWolf's already most of the way into this cave. I'm thinking Dan is going to be just slightly ahead.
So the item you just saw CWolf pick up that Dan picked up in the dark is an item called the trophy. That trophy was... They're basically even until that encounter. Actually, they are pretty much even. Yes,
Wow.
You need to delay your stream a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
Okay.
I'll let you know when he's going into the town. Now.
You were talking about Dan there?
CWolf.
They're
Okay.
even. So
Are they even?
they are on my stream. They're even. They're about 3 seconds by their timers, but they're pretty much even when it comes to towns.
Oh, okay. I know what I've done. I synced it by their timer, but one of them must not have used the pre 3 second countdown.
Yeah, so anyway, the trophy item is required to get in here and get the jump spell. Jump does exactly what it says on the label. It allows Link to jump very high. And that is needed to get through the next cave, the cave to the south of Ruto Town, which has been aptly named Jump Cave. And this is the point in the run where instead of going to the next palace, which is the Swamp Palace or Palace 2, whatever you want to call it, this is the shopping extravaganza portion of the run where we're going to go through and do not necessarily sequence breaking because you can get there without doing anything really crazy, but we are doing things out of the intended order. We are going to go pick up the life spell, pick up the hammer item, pick up the fairy spell, and most importantly, pick up the down stab technique. After we do all of that, then we'll make our way to Palace 2.
Yep, don't forget a heart container trapped behind a boulder, which you need the hammer for.
Yeah, and there's the heart container, there's the medicine jar right behind the boulder.
One, maybe two 1-ups.
Yep. So all kinds of goodies coming our way soon.
Yep, we'll be looking at the Palace 1 background for a while.
Hope you guys like Gray.
Alright, so we see both these players going for manipulation here, trying to avoid the first and second groups of encounters. But it looks like neither of them manages to get through that first patch of swamp without anything. Let's see if CWolf can get all the way to Bagoo. He's looking pretty good so far. And he gets in there just as the last set of monsters spawns, as does Dan. So they're pretty much even. I'm seeing them both talking to Bagoo at the same time.
So Bagoo is this lone recluse who lives in the woods who gives you a note that will say that you know him, which will somehow allow you to cross a bridge in the next town, the river town of Saria. And yes, you're hearing these names correctly. Ruto, Saria, they're all names of characters from Ocarina of Time. We know.
Well,
Anyone who's never played Zelda 2 just needs that any sort of connecting thread there to relate to.
Hey, whatever it takes. No rep, we're not at Nabooru yet.
Well, we see both these players here getting the life spell. The sequence item needed for that was a mirror that's hiding under a table in the next house over. So Link recovered that, and he gets this. Each one of the spells, there's something that you need to do to trigger it. One of them you get for free.
Shield.
The shield spell, the first one, you don't have to do anything. You just talk to the right person. All the rest of them have triggers. Some of them are triggers that are just doing another thing within that same town as the trigger. And some of them are items that you need to pick up somewhere else in the world and bring back to here. We've already seen one. That's the trophy to get jump. There's the lost child to get reflect. There's the medicine to get fairy. And
Well, technically you get Thunder for free.
technically Thunder's another one where you just go walk right in. It's true.
Although the fact that you survive all the invisible enemies that won't be so invisible.